Okay, hello everyone, the last of the Livy ones. This is a wonderfully depressing story to finish off. Pause it, and let's go through it together. Proficiscuntur ab Thessalonica aeneam ad sacrificium. Ibi die per solemnes epulas consumto nauem praeparatam aporide de tertia vigilia conscenderunt tamquam returri Thessalonicam. Sentence. They set out, proficiscuntur, they set out from Thessalonica ad towards Aeneia for a sacrifice. Ibi, there. Consumto die, look at that ending, the consumto die. As soon as I see the consumto, I'm thinking probably ablative, and of course it's going to be agreeing with the die. So, having consumed the day for solemn, with the day spent with solemn sacrifice, they find your verb, conscenderunt, they got on board, find your object, a nauem, a ship, praeparatam, prepared in advance by Poris, de tertia, at about the third hour. Tamquam, as if reditori, about to return to Thessalonica, reditori, future participle. Sed traicere in Jobaem erat propositum, but the plan was to cross in Jobea. Ceterum in adversum ventum nequiquam eos, tendentes propeteram lux oppressit et regi lembum armatum ad retrahendam eam nauem miserunt, cum gravia dicto ne reverterentur sine ea. But daylight, ceterum here meaning but rather than the others here, so it's but or moreover. Find your verb, find your subject, find your verb, and find your object. So, ceterum, moreover, find your subject. Lux, light, or here, daylight, verb, oppressit. Daylight, caught, find your object, eos. Daylight, caught them, eos tendentes. Daylight, caught them, straining, nequiquam, in vain, propeteram, next to the land. But daylight caught them, straining in vain, close to the land, in adversum, against a contrary wind, against an opposing wind. Et, and the regi, and the soldiers of the king, miserunt, find your subject, regi, subject. Find your verb, miserunt. Find your object, lembum, lembum armatum. And the soldiers of the king sent an armed boat, ad, literally for the ship, for that ship being captured, for the purpose of that ship being captured. We would just say to capture that ship. It is, of course, therefore, Lauren, a gerundive, because it's agreeing with a nauem, hence it being feminine. Cum, with a strict order, nay, not to return, that they should not return, so I suppose this is an indirect command, not to return without it. Cum jam apropinquabant poris quidem ad horationem remigum nautarumque intentus erat, interadum manus ad calum tendens deus ut ferent opes orabit. When they were now approaching, Poris, indeed, was intent, intentus erat, was intent literally on the encouraging of the oarsmen and of the sailors. So, he was intent on encouraging the rowers and the sailors. Interdum, sometimes, or from time to time, tendens, present participle, raising his hands, ad caelum, to the sky. He, orabat, was begging the gods, ut ferent, subjunctive because it's an indirect command, begging, praying to the gods to bring help. Ferox interim femina venenum diluit ferumque promit et posito in conspectu poculos strictisque gladis. If you read the beginning of the passage, you would indeed have seen that the femina was wonderfully ferox, that this woman was ferocious. Meanwhile, interim, the fierce woman, diluit, mixed poison and took out her ferum, took out her steel. Posito poculo, ablative absolute, posito poculo, with the cup having been placed in view and having drawn the swords, inquit, is in the next sentence, she said, Mors una vindicta est viae ad mortem haesunt agite juvenes mei, capite ferum aut haurite poculum si segnior mors juvat. Death, mors, est una vindicta is the only escape. Viae, hi, or hi viae, these are the paths to death. Agite, come, me juvenes, come, my children. Capite, take a sword out. Or see if a segnior mors, or if a slower death, juvat, literally suits you, drink the wine cup. Et hostes ederant, et auctor mortis instabat, alio leto absumpti, semianimes e navi praecipitantur, ipsa deinde virum comitem mortis complexa, in mare sese dejecit. Both the enemy were present, et hostes aderant, et auctor, and the author of death was pressing them on. Ali, each absumpti, were being carried off by one death. As in, each of the kids, each of the children, I suppose, were being carried away by one of these two deaths that has been offered to them, the poison or the dagger. So each was being each having been carried away by one of the deaths, praecipitantur, are being hurled, semi-animes, I think I've left that word out, but it means semi-conscious. We're being hurled headlong, we're flung headlong, unconscious, nave, from the ship. Ipsa, she herself, deinde, then, complexa, find your subject, find your verb, find your object, ipsa, subject, complexa, well, I suppose actually the main verb is going to be dejecit. She herself, then, having embraced, complexa, perfect active participle of complector, I embrace, she herself, then, having embraced her husband, her comrade in death, comitem mortis, dejicit, through sese, herself, in mare, into the sea. That's the end. I apologise for it being so horribly depressing. I hope that your holidays are going better than these people's, and I will see you all soon. All the very best then.